Is there a problem with my vehicle, officer? Don't give me that polite bullshit. The officer slaps the roof. Step out. Now. He leans in, voice loud enough for the crowd. Another smart-mouthed thug who thinks he's somebody. Phones rise, 47 of them. Someone laughs. A woman whispers, probably deserves it. A teenager films, grinning. Yo, this clown's about to learn. The officer grabs his arm, yanks hard. On your knees. You people never learn, do you? No one steps forward. The crowd just watches, waiting for worse. The man's face presses against asphalt hot enough to scar. He stays silent. He could end this with 3 words. He doesn't. In 72 hours, this moment will detonate the biggest investigation in county history. And every person laughing right now, they'll be drowning in shame. If you've ever been humiliated while the world just watched, stay with me. 72 hours earlier, Aaron Holloway sits in his office on the 4th floor of the Riverside County Administration Building. The coffee in his mug has gone cold. The mug itself says, Oversight Matters in fading letters, a gift from his first week on the job 3 years ago. He's reading a spreadsheet on his laptop, and one number keeps pulling his attention back. 23 complaints filed against a single officer over 12 years, 0 sustained, 18 marked unfounded, 5 labeled unsubstantiated. The pattern sits there in black and white, impossible to ignore. Aaron Holloway is the director of the Riverside County Police Oversight Commission. His job is to investigate complaints against law enforcement, recommend policy changes, and push for accountability in a system that resists it at every turn. He's 42 years old, a former public defender who spent a decade watching police misconduct cases collapse before they reached trial. He took this position because he believed reform could happen from the inside. Most days, he still believes it. On his desk sits a photo of his daughter, 9 years old, gap-toothed smile frozen in time. Next to it, a quarterly report he's been drafting for the Board of Supervisors. The numbers tell a story he's been trying to get people to hear. Complaint filings up 34% over the past year, but sustained disciplines down 19%. The gap between what citizens report and what the department acknowledges grows wider every quarter. Aaron leans back in his chair. Outside his window, Riverside sprawls under late summer heat. He thinks about the case that brought him here. A 19-year-old named Deshaun, arrested for jaywalking, who ended up with a broken collarbone and a police report claiming he'd resisted. Aaron defended him. The jury didn't believe a word Deshaun said. The officer faced no consequences. 6 months later, Deshaun took his own life. Aaron made a promise at that funeral. He'd change the system from within, no more watching from the sidelines. He closes the laptop and picks up his phone. There's a meeting scheduled for Wednesday with Chief Ronald Blake about body camera policy. Aaron has data showing that camera malfunctions spike during incidents that later generate complaints. Blake will listen politely and do nothing, the way he always does, the way the system is designed to let him. But Aaron has been working on something else, an experiment, a way to see how the system actually treats people when power and position are stripped away. When there's no title, no badge, no leverage, just a citizen and an officer, and the question of whether the rules apply equally. He hasn't told anyone yet. Not Elena Rodriguez, the investigative reporter at the Desert Sun who's been helping him track patterns in complaint data. Not Lieutenant James Crawford, the internal affairs investigator who's risked his career feeding Aaron information the department wants buried. This is something Aaron needs to do alone. He's going to drive home today like any other Monday. If he gets stopped, and given the neighborhood he lives in and the car he drives and the skin he lives in, the odds aren't 0. He won't mention his job. He won't pull rank. He'll see how the system treats someone who can't fight back. He wants to know what it feels like to be powerless. Only then will he truly understand what needs to change. Aaron stands, picks up his keys, and looks one more time at the spreadsheet before closing it. 23 complaints, 0 consequences. The name at the top of the file, Officer Kyle Bennett, badge 628. He doesn't know it yet, but in 45 minutes, he'll meet Officer Bennett face to face. Aaron's car rolls to a stop at the red light on Maple and 5th. September heat shimmers above the asphalt. NPR plays softly, something about infrastructure funding. He's thinking about Wednesday's meeting with Chief Blake. Red and blue lights flash in his rearview mirror. Aaron checks his speed. Not speeding. His brake lights work. He replaced the bulbs 2 weeks ago. The patrol car waits behind him, lights spinning. The light turns green. Aaron signals and pulls into a gas station parking lot. His hands go to 10 and 2 on the wheel. The experiment begins now. The officer approaches. Aaron sees him in the mirror, white, late 30s, hand near his belt. The name tag reads, Bennett. The name from the spreadsheet. 23 complaints, 0 consequences. License and registration. Aaron reaches slowly for the glove box, narrating every movement. I'm reaching for my registration now. He hands everything over. Bennett takes it without a word and walks back to his patrol car. 8 minutes pass. Not normal. A routine check takes 2, maybe 3. Aaron watches Bennett sit in his car, radio in hand, talking. Bennett returns. Step out of the vehicle. Is there a problem with my vehicle, officer? Don't give me that polite bullshit. Bennett slaps the roof. The crack echoes across the parking lot. Step out, now. Aaron opens the door slowly, hands visible, movements deliberate. Can you tell me why I was stopped? Broken tail light. I replaced both bulbs 2 weeks ago. Bennett's jaw tightens. You calling me a liar? He steps closer. Coffee and cigarettes on his breath. I'm smelling marijuana from your vehicle. Open the trunk. Aaron has never smoked anything in his life. I don't consent to a search. I haven't been... Are you refusing a lawful order? Bennett's hand moves to his holster. Not drawing, just resting. A message. People notice now. A woman at the next pump. A teenager from the store. Phones come out. Aaron keeps his voice level. I'm asking what I'm being charged with. Obstruction. Hands behind your back. I work in county administration. I know my rights. Bennett doesn't wait. He grabs Aaron's arm and twists it hard. The shoulder screams, handcuffs out, metal on bone. You think some desk job makes you special? Bennett leans close, voice carrying to the crowd. Another smart-mouth thug who thinks he's somebody. The second cuff clicks. Bennett shoves Aaron forward. Knees hit asphalt. Heat burns through denim instantly. On your knees. You people never learn, do you? Aaron could say it now. 3 words would end this. He doesn't. If he uses power to escape, he proves nothing. He needs to know what happens when you have no leverage. So he stays silent. Face down, breathing, counting. 47 phones are recorded. Clicks, whispers. Someone laughs. The teenager narrates. Yo, this clown's about to learn. A woman's voice. Probably deserves it. No one asks Bennett what the charges are. No one asks if Aaron's okay. They watch. They film. They wait for worse. Bennett reads Miranda rights in a flat voice. Aaron has heard these words 1,000 times in courtrooms, never while kneeling on pavement with his face in oil and grit. The patrol car door opens. Bennett shoves him into the back seat. Door slams. Final. Absolute. Aaron sits in the cage. Through the window, people still film, still laugh, still certain they're watching a criminal get what he deserves. None of them know what they've recorded. The booking room smells like industrial cleaner masking something worse. Fluorescent lights hum. Aaron stands against a height chart while an officer takes his photo. Mugshot, front and side. The flash leaves spots in his vision. Empty your pockets. Wallet, keys, phone, $43 cash. everything into a manila envelope. Aaron watches his phone disappear, his connection to the world sealed away. Fingerprints, one finger at a time. The ink is cold. The officer presses each finger onto the scanner with just enough force to be uncomfortable. Aaron has processed hundreds of complaint files that started like this. He never understood the small humiliations until now. Every procedure designed to strip you down, remind you that you're not a person anymore, just a number. The holding cell holds 8 men. Aaron makes 9. The youngest looks 19, sitting in the corner with knees pulled to chest, crying silently. An older man with a gray beard lies on the concrete bench, eyes closed. He's been here before. No one speaks when Aaron enters. That's not how this works. Keep your head down. Wait. Hope someone knows you're here. Aaron sits against the back wall. Concrete cold despite September heat. The clock reads 10:47 a.m. He was arrested at 9:23. 84 minutes ago, he was thinking about Wednesday's meeting. Now he's an inmate, RC 2409161133. The kid wipes his face. First time? Aaron nods. You? Yeah, I didn't do anything, just walking. They said I fit the description. The gray-bearded man opens one eye. They always say you fit a description. He closes it again. Get comfortable. You'll be here for a while. Hours crawl. Fluorescent lights never change. No window, no sun. Time measured only by the cell door clanging when someone's called. At 2:15 p.m., lunch arrives. White bread sandwiches, something that might be turkey. Small milk carton, the kid doesn't eat. Aaron takes 2 bites and stops. At 3:42 p.m., the video goes viral. Aaron doesn't know this yet, but somewhere outside these walls, someone posts footage to Twitter. Riverside PD at it again. 1 hour, 15,000 views. 2 hours, 50,000. By 5 p.m., trending under Riverside PD. Comments multiply, most outraged. Some defend. Should have just complied. A few ask questions. At Riverside Watch posts a thread breaking down everything wrong. Another user. I was there. Dude was polite, didn't do nothing. At 4:30 p.m., Elena Rodriguez sees it. Working at her Desert Sun desk on overtime spending. Phone buzzes. Someone tagged her. She clicks. The video loads. She watches once. Again. Freezes at 1:47. Officer name tag visible. Bennett. Badge 628. She's seen that name. Elena opens her complaint database, the one Aaron helped build. Types. Bennett, K. 23 results. She exhales. Then she sees the man's face. Pauses. Zooms. She's met Aaron Holloway 3 times. Twice for coffee. Once at a board meeting where he presented data commissioners didn't want to hear. Elena calls Riverside PD Public Information. This is Elena Rodriguez, Desert Sun. Can you confirm Aaron Holloway, Director of Police Oversight, was arrested this morning? 3 seconds of silence. Then, we're aware of an incident. The matter is under review. We cannot comment on ongoing investigations. Expected. Boilerplate. Elena tries again. Is Mr. Holloway still in custody? I can't confirm identities. Check booking records online. Elena already has the jail database open. Types. Holloway, Aaron. There. Booked 10:47 a.m. Charge. Resisting arrest. Bail. Own recognizance. Status. Pending arraignment. She starts writing. Headline forms. Oversight Director arrested during traffic stop. Video raises questions. At 6:15 p.m., local news runs it. KABC. 30 seconds. The director of Riverside County's Police Oversight Commission was arrested this morning. Cell phone video has sparked debate online. By 7 p.m., Reddit thread r bad cop no donut 2,300 comments. Top comment, 4,800 upvotes. Wait, they arrested their own watchdog? At 7:30 p.m., Chief Ronald Blake watches the video in his office. Alone. Door closed. 3 times. The 3rd time, he pauses when Bennett slaps the car roof. Blake's face goes pale. He calls Lieutenant James Crawford, Internal Affairs. Crawford answers the 2nd ring. "We have a problem," Blake says. "Big one." Crawford has seen the video. "Bennett?" "Yeah." "Not again." Crawford's voice carries weight, resignation, anger. "Not again." Blake hangs up, stares at the frozen frame. Aaron's face pressed against asphalt, Bennett standing above. The chief knows what comes next. Calls from the board. Mayor pressure, news cycle that won't quit. And worst, questions he doesn't want to answer. If this can happen to the oversight director, what's been happening to everyone else? In the holding cell, Aaron sits against the wall. 9 hours now. Arraignment tomorrow morning. 9 hours of fluorescent lights and concrete and men breathing in a space too small. The kid stopped crying. The gray-bearded man hasn't moved. Aaron closes his eyes. He wonders if anyone knows he's here. 2 weeks later, Riverside County Superior Court, Department 4, Tuesday morning. The arraignment calendar has 63 cases scheduled. Most will take less than 3 minutes. Plead guilty, pay the fine, go home. That's how the system works for people who can't afford to fight. Aaron sits in the gallery with 40 other defendants waiting for their names to be called. He's wearing the same clothes from the arrest. Jeans, button-down shirt, no tie. He didn't go home to change. Didn't want to look like he was trying to be someone he's not. A public defender named Sarah Mitchell finds him in the hallway 10 minutes before his case. She's young, maybe 28, carrying a folder thick enough to hold a dozen cases. "Aaron Holloway?" She checks her list. "Resisting arrest." "Okay, this is pretty straightforward. I can probably get the DA to reduce it to a fine, maybe community service. You'll be out in 20 minutes. Aaron looks at her. "I'd like to proceed to arraignment." Sarah blinks. You want to plead not guilty?" "Yes." She shifts her weight. "Mr. Holloway, I have to advise you that taking this to trial means—" "I understand. I want to proceed." Sarah makes a note. "Okay, your call." She doesn't ask why. Public defenders learn early not to ask why. They just move the cases forward. The courtroom fills. Judge Elizabeth Reynolds takes the bench at 9 a.m. sharp. She's been on the bench for 19 years. She's seen everything twice. The clerk calls cases one by one. Each defendant stands. Each enters a plea. Guilty. 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 The rhythm is mechanical, efficient, justice as an assembly line. People versus Aaron Holloway, case BA 2024-03389. Aaron stands, walks to the defendant's table. Sarah stands beside him. Judge Reynolds reads from the file without looking up. "Mr. Holloway, you're charged with resisting arrest, a misdemeanor under Penal Code 148. How do you plead?" "Not guilty, Your Honor." The judge makes a note. "Occupation?" This is the moment. Aaron takes a breath. His voice is clear, steady, loud enough to carry to every corner of the courtroom. "I'm the director of the Riverside County Police Oversight Commission." "Salary." The courtroom goes silent. Sarah Mitchell's pen stops mid-word. The DA, Marianne Foster, looks up from her note. Her face drains of color. In the back row, Officer Kyle Bennett, waiting to testify in a different case, goes rigid. Judge Reynolds stops writing. She takes off her reading glasses slowly, looks at Aaron, looks at the file, looks back at Aaron. "Excuse me?" "The Police Oversight Commission, Your Honor. I investigate complaints against law enforcement." The judge's eyes move to the prosecution table. "Ms. Foster, Approach. The DA stands, visibly shaken. At the defense table, Sarah whispers, "Why didn't you tell me?" At the bench, the sidebar conversation is whispered but urgent. Aaron can't hear the words, but he can read the body language. The DA's hands gesturing, the judge's expression hardened. Judge Reynolds returns to the microphone. "Ms. Foster, does the people wish to proceed with this charge?" Catherine Foster looks at her file, looks at Aaron, looks at the gallery where 3 reporters sit, routine court coverage that just became breaking news. "Your Honor, given the circumstances, and upon further review of the arrest report, the people move to dismiss." Motion granted. Judge Reynolds looks at Aaron. "Mr. Holloway, you're free to go." Then she turns to the back of the courtroom. "Officer Bennett, please remain available." Aaron doesn't move immediately. He stands at the defendant's table, feeling the weight of 18 days lift off his shoulders. 18 days of waiting. 18 days of knowing he could have made one phone call and avoided all of this. But he didn't, because he needed to know. Judge Reynolds isn't finished. "Mr. Holloway, before you go, why didn't you identify yourself during the arrest?" Every person in the courtroom leans forward. "Your Honor, I wanted to see how the system treats people who can't identify themselves, people who don't have titles or positions to protect them." Aaron pauses. "I believe I have my answer." The judge studies him for a long moment. "I'd like to request that all body camera footage and evidence related to this arrest be preserved pending further investigation." "So ordered." Aaron walks out of the courtroom. Behind him, he can hear the whispers starting, the reporters rushing for the doors, Officer Bennett sitting alone in the back row, face white as chalk. By the time Aaron reaches the courthouse steps, Elena Rodriguez is waiting with her recorder. "Mr. Holloway, can you comment?" Aaron stops. "I can. This isn't about me. This is about a system that allows this to happen to anyone. I had the privilege of education, position, and witnesses with cameras. Most people don't." He looks directly at Elena's recorder. "If this can happen to me, imagine what happens to them." Elena asks the question everyone's thinking. "Will you investigate the officer who arrested you?" "I'll investigate the system that protected him." Within 20 minutes, the headline goes live. "Oversight Director arrested. Charges dismissed in dramatic courtroom reveal." Within an hour, the video from the gas station has been viewed 3 million times, and Officer Kyle Bennett, badge 628, is suspended with pay pending internal affairs review. The courtroom revelation changes everything. Within 48 hours, Aaron's office receives 217 phone calls. Citizens who've had encounters with Riverside PD. Citizens who filed complaints that went nowhere. Citizens who gave up because the system was designed to make them give up. Elena Rodriguez sits across from Aaron in his office Thursday afternoon. Between them, 3 laptops and files 6 inches thick. Lieutenant James Crawford stands by the window, arms crossed. He's not supposed to be here. Helping Aaron now could cost him his career. He's here anyway. "How deep do you want to go?" Elena asks. Aaron doesn't hesitate. "All the way down." They start with Officer Kyle Bennett's personnel file. What they find is a masterclass in systemic failure. 23 complaints filed against Bennett between 2019 and 2024. Elena pulls up the database and turns the screen. The list scrolls down. Each entry is a story of someone who thought the system would listen. Case 2019-0334. Excessive force during traffic stop. Neon neck restraint for jaywalking. Internal affairs finding. No evidence of policy violation. Case 2020-0156. Racial profiling. Stopped without cause. IA finding. Traffic stop justified. Case 2021-0445. False arrest. Video footage marked unavailable due to technical malfunction. Case 2022 0267. Use of racial slur. No witnesses. IA finding. Insufficient evidence. Case 2023-0523. Excessive force, unlawful search, intimidation. IA finding. Unfounded. The pattern repeats 23 times. 23 people who trusted the system. 23 complaints marked unfounded or dismissed. 0 sustained violations. 0 disciplinary actions. 0 consequences. Crawford speaks from the window. Everyone crossed my desk. I flagged the pattern 3 years ago. His voice is tight. My report was filed and forgotten. Who told you that? Aaron asks. My lieutenant. Retired now. Orders came from higher up. Crawford turns. The system doesn't want to find problems. It wants to make them disappear. Elena types. I'm cross-referencing complaint dates with body camera failure logs. She turns the screen. Department average for camera malfunctions, 12% annually. Bennett's rate in incidents with complaints, 80%. 8 out of 10. The same officer, the same convenient failures. That's not an accident, Elena says. That's a pattern. Aaron leans back. He's seen patterns before. But seeing it laid out like this, the deliberate, systematic erasure of evidence, makes his stomach turn. Training records? Aaron asks. Crawford pulls a file from his briefcase. He's not supposed to have this. He puts it on the desk anyway. Bennett's post-certification for use of force, required annual. Aaron opens it. Last certification, April 2022, 29 months ago. Bennett missed 2023 entirely. No one flagged it. He kept working patrol, kept making arrests, kept using force he wasn't certified to use. His supervisor signed off anyway, Crawford says. Every year. Meets standards. Elena pulls up another document. Union emails. Took 6 months and 3 FOIA appeals. She opens a PDF. Internal communications from the Police Officers Association. Email from Union President Gary Sullivan, March 2023. Subject, reminder, complaint record retention. Body text, per MOU. Article 12, all complaint records are sealed and expunged from officer personnel files after 5 years. Members should be aware that complaints older than 5 years cannot be used in disciplinary proceedings. Do not discuss old complaints with media or outside investigators. Let the process work. Aaron reads it twice. They're telling officers to wait it out. 5 years and the complaint disappears. It's in the contract, Elena says. The county agreed to it. Legal doesn't mean right. Crawford pulls another file. 2 civil settlements, both sealed. 2020, $45,000 to avoid trial. Excessive force allegation. 2022, $67,000. Same allegation, different plaintiff. Both settled before deposition. Aaron does the math. The county paid $112,000 to make Bennett's mistakes go away. Plus legal fees, plus public defender costs, plus court costs. Crawford's jaw tightens. Conservative estimate, Bennett has cost taxpayers $500,000 over 5 years. The room goes quiet. Elena breaks the silence. One more thing. She's been cross-referencing data the department keeps in separate systems specifically so no one will connect them. Payroll records and court appearance calendars. She pulls up a spreadsheet. Bennett's name at top. Court appearances trigger automatic overtime, minimum 4 hours, even if the case settles in 20 minutes. Union contract. Most officers average 12 appearances per year, about $18,000 in overtime. She scrolls to Bennett's row. Bennett averaged 67 court appearances last year. Aaron stares. 67? Overtime earnings fiscal 2023-24, $89,130, almost double his base salary of $52,300. Crawford whistles low. He's gaming it. Elena nods. Look at the pattern. Bennett makes questionable arrests, Marginal probable cause, charges that won't stick. Defendants fight because they're innocent. Cases go to prelim hearings. Bennett appears, gets overtime. Even when charges are dropped, 38% of his arrests, he's already been paid. Aaron sees it, the full picture. He's not a bad cop who makes mistakes. He turned arrests into revenue. Every questionable arrest is a lottery ticket, Elena says. Every court date is a payout. The people he arrested? Cost of doing business. They sit in silence. The complaints no one investigated. The body cameras that failed. The certifications no one checked. The union contract erasing violations. The settlements are buying silence. And underneath it all, financial incentive to make bad arrests. Aaron thinks about the 19-year-old crying in the cell. The gray-bearded man who'd been arrested so many times he knew where to sit. All the people who filed complaints and were told they weren't credible. He thinks about turning every citizen into an ATM machine. 4 hours overtime per court appearance. Multiply that by 67 appearances. Multiply that by however many years Bennett's been doing this. We go public, Elena says. Story ready by Sunday. Aaron nods. Do it. Crawford stands. You know what happens when you go public. Union will come after you. Discredit everything. Make you the story instead of Bennett. Let them. They'll say you have a grudge, that you're biased. Let them say it. Crawford looks at Aaron. You're sure? Aaron thinks about the question. He's about to declare war on a system that protects itself at all costs, a system that destroys people who challenge it. I'm sure. Elena closes her laptop. Story goes live Sunday, 6 a.m. How one Riverside officer turned arrests into 6-figure overtime and the system that let him. Crawford picks up his files. I need to go. If anyone asks, I was never here. After he leaves, Elena lingers. You ready for what comes next? Aaron looks at the stacks of files. 23 complaints, 80% camera failures, $89,430 in overtime, $500,000 in taxpayer costs, and underneath, faces of people who thought the system would protect them. I've been ready for 3 years. Elena pauses at the door. She knows what's about to happen. The system will fight back with everything it has. They always do. But she also knows something else. For the first time in her career covering law enforcement, she's seen someone on the inside willing to burn it all down to build it right. Sunday morning, she says. 6 a.m. Aaron watches her leave. Then he turns back to the files. 23 stories. 23 people who were told they didn't matter. He's about to prove them wrong. Elena's story goes live Sunday at 6 a.m. By 6:45, the Riverside Police Officers Association issues a statement. Union President Gary Sullivan stands before microphones, flanked by attorneys. His voice is measured, controlled, angry. Officer Kyle Bennett is a dedicated public servant with 12 years of exemplary service. He has put his life on the line countless times. What we're seeing is a politically motivated witch hunt led by someone with clear bias against law enforcement. Sullivan doesn't mention Aaron by name. He doesn't have to. The Oversight Commission, under its current leadership, has demonstrated hostility toward officers who serve in uniform. This rush to judgment, this trial by the media, is why officers need union protection. We stand behind Officer Bennett. The statement goes viral within an hour. Conservative outlets pick it up. Talk radio reads it on air. The narrative splits. Activist bureaucrat versus hard-working cop. By noon, Aaron's personal information leaks. First, his salary. Someone posts his W-2 on a police forum. $127,000 annually. Comments come fast. Overpaid bureaucrat. Makes more than the officers he oversees. Getting rich off their backs. Then his history. A DUI arrest from college, 2003. Charges dismissed. Aaron was the designated driver, Passenger drunk and loud, but the arrest record exists. Suddenly it's everywhere, stripped of context, presented as proof Aaron hates police because of a personal grudge. By Monday afternoon, threats start. First voicemail, 2:17 p.m. Office phone. Man's voice digitally distorted. You think you're untouchable? We know where you live. We know where your daughter goes to school. Aaron deletes it, notifies security. Second call 20 minutes later. Then a third. By end of business, 11 voicemails. Tuesday morning, his daughter's school receives a call. A woman claiming to be concerned asks if Emma Holloway's father is teaching her to disrespect law enforcement. The principal calls Aaron immediately. Aaron picks Emma up early. She asks why. He doesn't know how to answer. That afternoon, the Board of Supervisors announced an ethics investigation, not into Bennett, into Aaron. Press release. Given the unique circumstances of Director Holloway's arrest and subsequent involvement in investigating the arresting officer, the board has requested independent review to ensure no conflict of interest. Bureaucratic language for, we're investigating the investigator. Two fellow commissioners call that evening. Both suggest he recuse himself from anything Bennett-related, to maintain integrity, to avoid the appearance of bias. They mean well, but what they're really saying, step back, let it go. Not worth the fight. Wednesday brings the leaked memo. Someone inside the department sends an internal communication to a pro-police blogger. The memo, 3 years old, shows Aaron requesting disciplinary records for multiple officers. The blogger spins it. Oversight director targeting officers for years, personal vendetta exposed. The memo is real. Context is not. Aaron requested records for pattern analysis, standard oversight work. But stripped of context, it becomes ammunition. Elena calls Wednesday night. They're not attacking the evidence. They're attacking you. I know. This is a textbook. Make the whistleblower the scandal. I know. You need to respond. Defend yourself. Aaron sits in his dark office. Emma asleep down the hall. Jennifer downstairs, scrolling comments about her husband. If I respond, I play their game. The story is already about you. Then let it be. Elena pauses. How are you holding up? Death threats. Daughter's school contacted. Ethics investigation. Colleagues distancing. Personal life dissected by strangers. I'm fine. Aaron, they can't defend Bennett's actions, so they attack my credibility. It's what institutions do. Thursday morning brings the hardest blow. Lieutenant James Crawford placed on administrative leave. Official reason: unauthorized disclosure of confidential personnel information. Someone saw him enter Aaron's office. Someone reported it. Aaron calls. Crawford doesn't answer. Text: not your fault. I made my choice. That afternoon, Jennifer finds Aaron at his computer. The screen shows a forum posting photos of their house, Emma's school, Aaron's driving route. Aaron, this has to stop. He looks at his wife. She's scared. This isn't theoretical. This is their daughter, their home, their safety. Maybe you should step down, she says quietly. Just for now. Aaron thinks about stepping down. It would be easy. Issue a statement. Recuse himself. The threats would stop. Life would return to normal. Except normal is the problem. I can't. Why not? Because if I walk away, I tell every person who filed a complaint that the system works exactly how they thought. Power protects power. Challenge it, get destroyed. Jennifer sits. What about us? What about Emma? I'm doing this for Emma, so she grows up where filing a complaint means something. She won't grow up at all if something happens to you. The words hang. Aaron has no response. She's right. The threats are real. The danger is real. That night, Aaron sits in his car outside. He doesn't want to go in yet, doesn't want to face Emma with this weight. The phone buzzes. Elena. Hang in there, we're not done. He stares at the message, looks at his house. Lights in Emma's room. Jennifer passed the kitchen window. Aaron thinks about Deshawn. 19. Dead because the system failed. 23 complaints. 23 people were told to be quiet. The gray-bearded man who'd been arrested so many times he knew where to sit. If I quit now, nothing will change. He goes inside. Friday night. Aaron sits in his car in the driveway. Engine off. 20 minutes now, staring at the steering wheel. Inside, life continues. Jennifer through the kitchen window, making dinner. Emma at the table, homework. Normal. Safe. Fragile. His phone sits in the cup holder. 17 missed calls. 6 reporters. 4 commissioners. 3 unknown numbers. 2 from Elena. 1 from his mother. 1 from HR about the ethics investigation. He hasn't listened to any. Aaron closes his eyes. Exhausted in a way sleep won't fix. The exhaustion of holding up a collapsing ceiling while people throw rocks at your legs. He thinks about Deshawn. 19 years old, broken collarbone, sitting in Aaron's office 7 years ago. I didn't resist, Mr. Holloway, I swear. I just asked why. Aaron defended him, put witnesses on the stand, argued passionately. The jury deliberated 47 minutes, guilty. 6 months later, Deshawn hung himself, left a note. I can't carry it anymore. Aaron went to the funeral, stood in the back, made a promise at the cemetery. He'd changed the system from inside. Now, 7 years later, he wonders if he's kept that promise or broken it. The system is still here, still protecting itself, still grinding people down. And Aaron is tired. The front door opens. Emma appears, backlit. She waves through the windshield. Big smile. Gap-toothed. Aaron waves back. She goes inside. He thinks about Jennifer's words. She won't grow up at all if something happens to you. Maybe she's right. Maybe this isn't worth his daughter losing her father. Maybe the smart thing is to step back. Protect his family. Aaron reaches for the door handle. Stops. Phone screen lights. Text from unknown number. Mr. Holloway, my name is Marcus. I filed a complaint against Bennett in 2021. They told me I was lying. I gave up. Thank you for not giving up. Please don't stop. Aaron stares. Another text. Different number. I was arrested by Bennett last year. Lost my job. Charges dropped, but damage was done. Keep fighting. Another. My son was one of Bennett's arrests, 17 years old. It destroyed him. Please, finish this. 4, 5, 6 messages. People he's never met. People whose complaints were marked unfounded. People the system told didn't matter. Aaron sits in darkness, reading message after message. The exhaustion doesn't disappear. But underneath, something harder. Something that won't bend. He thinks about Deshawn's mother at the cemetery. 23 complaints. The gray-bearded man in the cell who'd given up. Not this time. Aaron calls Elena. Aaron? I'm not stopping. I know. They're coming at me harder. I know. And I'm not stepping back. Elena's voice is steady. I've got something. Something big. Can you meet tomorrow? What is it? Not on the phone. Tomorrow. 10 a.m. Aaron looks at his house. Emma's silhouette. Jennifer setting plates. I'll be there. He hangs up. One more moment in silence. Then he goes inside. Emma runs to him, arms around his waist. "Daddy, where were you?" "Just thinking, sweetheart." "About what?" Aaron looks at Jennifer. Her face was tired, worried, scared, but she nods, small, almost imperceptible. "About doing the right thing," Aaron says, "even when it's hard." Emma pulls back, looks up. "You always do the right thing." Aaron's throat tightens. "I'm trying." "That's what you told me. Try your best. That's all you can do." She returns to homework. Aaron stands in the doorway watching his daughter write spelling words with careful concentration. Jennifer comes over, hand on his arm. "I'm still scared." "Me too. But I'm also proud." She kisses his cheek. Aaron sits next to Emma, helps with homework, tries not to think about what Elena found. But he knows. Whatever it is, it's going to change everything. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Elena's office at the Desert Sun. She has 3 monitors running. One shows a spreadsheet. One shows a video feed. One shows a document that makes Aaron's breath catch. "I got a call Thursday night," Elena says, "from a retired officer. Dan Harris, 30 years with Riverside PD, retired 6 months ago." She clicks play on the video. A man in his late 50s appears on screen. Gray hair, tired eyes, police union pin still on his jacket lapel. "My name is Daniel Harris. I worked with Officer Kyle Bennett for 8 years. I saw things. I reported them. My reports disappeared." His voice is steady, but his hands shake slightly. "I was told to be a team player. I was told that's how the system works. I'm done being quiet." Aaron leans forward. He's willing to go on record? He already did. Signed affidavit. Names, dates, specific incidents. Elena pulls up a document. 3 other officers have come forward since the story broke. 2 retired. 1 still active, requesting anonymity. What are they saying? Bennett's pattern has been known for years, that supervisors were aware, that the union actively discouraged reporting. Elena clicks to another file. The active officer? She says she reported Bennett in 2020 for planting evidence. Her report was lost. She was transferred to a different shift. Aaron reads the affidavit. The detail is damning. Specific dates, specific cases, specific conversations with supervisors who told officers to look the other way. "There's more," Elena says. "The community is organizing. Rally at City Hall, today, 2 p.m. "How many people?" "Last count? 217 confirmed. Could be more." At 1:45 p.m., Aaron arrives at City Hall. The plaza is packed. Not 200 people. Closer to 300. Signs everywhere. Oversight matters. Badge 628 accountability now. Aaron Holloway stands for us. A local pastor approaches Aaron, Reverend Marcus Thompson, Community Baptist Church. "Mr. Holloway, we've been trying to tell these stories for years. Finally, someone with power is listening." The rally begins at 2 p.m. Speakers take turns at the microphone. An ACLU attorney. "This case is a test. If the system can silence Aaron Holloway, it can silence anyone." A mother whose son was arrested by Bennett. "My boy was 17, honor student. Bennett said he fit a description. The charges were dropped, but the damage was done. He doesn't trust anyone in uniform now." Then Dan Harris takes the microphone. 300 people go silent. "I wore this badge for 30 years. I was proud of it. But I watched good officers get pushed out for speaking up. I watched bad officers get protected because that's what the union does. It protects the system, not the people." His voice cracks. "I'm ashamed it took me this long to say something, but I'm saying it now. Officer Bennett should not be wearing a badge, and neither should the supervisors who protected him." The crowd erupts, not in anger, in validation, in the sound of people who've been gasping for air finally taking a breath. Aaron stands at the edge of the crowd. He didn't plan to speak. But the organizers see him. The crowd sees him. They start chanting his name. He walks to the microphone. "I'm grateful," Aaron says. "But this isn't about me. It's about every person who didn't have cameras, didn't have a platform, didn't have a chance." He pauses, looks at the faces. 300 people who showed up on a Saturday because they believe change is possible. "We finish what we started. Together." The crowd roars. Across the plaza, in a third-floor window of the county administration building, District Attorney Mary Ann Foster watches. She's been a DA for 6 years. She knows political pressure when she sees it. This isn't going away. She picks up her phone and calls her chief investigator. "I need everything you have on Kyle Bennett. Everything. And I need it Monday morning." By Sunday evening, Elena's second article goes live. Whistleblowers come forward. Bennett's pattern was known and ignored. 3 million views in 12 hours. The system can't hide anymore. Monday morning. Elena's third article drops at 6 a.m. The headline, "How One Officer Turned Arrests into a 6-Figure Salary, and the System That Paid Him to Do It." Within the first hour, it's shared 40,000 times. The article lays it out in numbers impossible to ignore. Elena spent the weekend building a database that the county should have built years ago. She cross-referenced 3 separate systems: payroll records, court appearance schedules, and arrest reports. The pattern is undeniable. Officer Kyle Bennett made 67 court appearances in fiscal year 2023 to 24. The department average is 12. Each appearance triggers automatic overtime pay. Minimum 4 hours, even if the hearing lasts 20 minutes. Even if the case is dismissed. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. It's in the union contract. Show up to court, get paid. Bennett earned $89,430 in overtime last year, nearly double his base salary of $52,300. Total compensation, $141,730. But the money is only half the story. Elena's analysis shows that 38% of Bennett's arrests result in dropped charges. Department average, 9%. Bennett arrests people at 4 times the rate his arrests fail. And every failed arrest still generates a court date. Every court date still generates overtime. The article includes a chart. On one axis, Bennett's arrest numbers by month. On the other axis, his overtime earnings. The lines track almost perfectly. More arrests equal more court dates equal more money. Elena interviews a public defender in the background. "I've seen Bennett's cases for years. Half of them are marginal at best. Questionable stops. Thin probable cause. But everyone puts him in court. And in court, he's on the clock." The article includes testimony from 3 defendants whose charges were dismissed. One waited 9 months for her case to be dropped. Bennett appeared in court 6 times during that period. He earned $3,840 in overtime from a case that never should have been filed. Another defendant, arrested for resisting arrest with no underlying crime, spent $4,200 on a private attorney to fight charges that were dismissed on the first court date. Bennett got 4 hours of overtime. The defendant got a legal bill and trauma. The system turned citizens into ATM machines. Every questionable arrest is a withdrawal. Every court appearance is a deposit into Bennett's bank account. By 8 a.m., the article reaches the County Board of Supervisors. By 9 a.m., it's on the desk of every state legislator in Sacramento. By 10 a.m., the police union issues a statement. It's weaker than before. Overtime policies are negotiated in good faith and applied uniformly across all officers. Officer Bennett followed established procedures. They don't defend Bennett's arrest rate. They can't. By 11 a.m., District Attorney Mary Ann Foster calls a press conference. She stands at a podium, looking tired. Behind her, 3 assistant DAs and the chief investigator. My office has been conducting a review of Officer Kyle Bennett's arrest record and court appearances. Based on preliminary findings, we are opening a criminal investigation into potential fraud, perjury in police reports, and deprivation of rights under color of law. The room erupts with questions. Foster raises her hand. We take these allegations seriously. No one is above the law. This investigation will be thorough and transparent. We will follow the evidence wherever it leads. A reporter shouts, "Will you convene a grand jury?" Foster doesn't hesitate. Yes. Grand jury proceedings will begin next week. Aaron watches the press conference from his office. Elena is next to him. Crawford called 5 minutes ago, still on administrative leave, still risking everything, to say congratulations. You did it, Elena says. We're not done yet. The DA just announced a criminal investigation. Grand jury next week. Aaron, this is huge. Aaron knows she's right, but he also knows how these things work. Investigations drag on. Grand juries hear evidence but don't always indict. Trials take years. Officers retire with pensions before verdicts come down. The system protects itself. Even when it's forced to investigate, it finds ways to delay, to dilute, to let time do what cover-ups couldn't. It's a start, Aaron says, but Bennett's not in handcuffs yet, and the system that protected him is still intact. Elena closes her laptop. Then we keep going. Yeah, Aaron says, we keep going. His phone buzzes. Text from Jennifer. I saw the news. I'm proud of you. Come home safe. Aaron looks at the message for a long moment. Then he texts back. Almost done. I promise. But he knows the hardest part is still ahead. The grand jury. The testimony. The moment when he'll have to sit across from Bennett and tell the truth about what happened on that September morning. The moment when the system will finally have to choose accountability or self-preservation. Aaron just hopes it chooses right. 6 weeks later. Riverside County Superior Court. Grand jury proceedings. 19 citizens in the jury box. No cameras. No public gallery. Just witnesses, prosecutors, and truth. Officer Kyle Bennett sits with his attorney. Civilian clothes, khaki pants, blue shirt, smaller without the uniform. The door opens. Aaron Holloway. Aaron walks in, takes his seat, raises his right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth? I do. The prosecutor, Sarah Matthews, begins. Mr. Holloway, please state your occupation. Director of the Riverside County Police Oversight Commission. On September 16th, you were arrested by Officer Bennett. Describe what happened. Aaron tells it. The traffic stop. The broken tail light that wasn't broken. The marijuana smell that didn't exist. The handcuffs. The pavement. The crowd was filming and laughing. Did you identify yourself as Oversight Director? No. Why not? Aaron looks at the 19 faces. Regular people, a teacher, a mechanic, a retired nurse. Because I wanted to see how the system treats people who can't identify themselves, people who don't have titles to protect them. Sarah Matthews pulls up a document. This is Bennett's arrest report. He states you were aggressive and non-compliant. Accurate? No, I was polite, cooperative, and aware of my rights. She shows body camera metadata. Camera activated 9:19 a.m., manually deactivated 9:21 a.m., 2 minutes before arrest. Bennett's camera was turned off. Were you aware? Not at the time. Are you aware this is his 8th camera malfunction during incidents with complaints? Bennett's attorney objects. Relevance. Grand jury foreperson Dorothy Williams, elderly black woman, speaks. I want to hear it. Sarah Matthews walks through evidence. 23 complaints. 80% camera failures. Training lapsed 29 months. Union emails about 5-year expungement. Then payroll analysis. Bennett earned $89,430 in overtime last year. 67 court appearances. 5 times department average. In your professional opinion, is this an officer doing his job or exploiting the system? Bennett's attorney objects. Speculation. Aaron answers anyway. It's consistent with someone who discovered questionable arrests generate court dates, and court dates generate income. Silence. No further questions. Bennett's attorney stands. Mr. Bennett, you have the right to testify or invoke your Fifth Amendment privilege. What do you choose? Bennett looks at his attorney, at the jury, at Aaron. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. The prosecutor asks, Officer Bennett, did you turn off your body camera before arresting Mr. Holloway? I invoke my Fifth. Did you falsify your arrest report? I invoke my Fifth. Did you make arrests lacking probable cause to generate overtime? I invoke my Fifth. 17 times, 17 questions, 17 invocations. The man who demanded compliance now refuses to answer. The grand jury deliberates for 7 hours. At 9:43 p.m. they return. Dorothy Williams reads the decision. The grand jury finds sufficient evidence to recommend criminal charges: perjury, deprivation of civil rights under color of law, filing false police reports. Bennett's face goes white. The people will file charges tomorrow. Officer Bennett, you'll be arraigned Friday 9 a.m. Aaron sits in back. Doesn't smile, doesn't celebrate. This isn't victory. This is the beginning of accountability. Outside, Dorothy Williams stops him. Doesn't speak, just nods. Aaron nods back. Elena waits outside. Grand jury recommended charges. Bennett's arraignment Friday. I know. You okay? Aaron thinks. He just watched an officer invoke the Fifth 17 times rather than answer about his own conduct. Watch the system, slowly, reluctantly, begin to hold someone accountable. I'm okay, Aaron says. For the first time in weeks, I'm okay. 2 weeks after the grand jury, Riverside County Board of Supervisors meets in emergency session. Chambers packed. Media, citizens, nervous officers in back. Board chair. Linda Vasquez reads Resolution 224 to 147. Mandatory body camera upload within 24 hours. No officer control. Complaint records permanent. No expungement. Oversight Commission given subpoena power. Quarterly overtime audits. Community Review Board for Internal Affairs. Vote 5-0. Unanimous. Aaron keeps his statement brief. This is a start, not a finish. At his desk, one email stands out. Deshawn's mother. Subject: Thank you. Mr. Holloway, I saw the news. My son didn't get justice, but maybe now others will. Thank you for not giving up. Aaron closes the laptop, picks up his coffee mug. Oversight matters. The phone rings. Unknown number. Mr. Holloway, my name is Patricia. I was arrested last year by Officer Thompson, badge 531. Can you help me? Aaron looks at his calendar, already full. Adds another appointment. Yes, tell me everything. They handcuffed the one man who wrote their rule book. He wrote it. Bennett's trial is scheduled for March 2025. Suspended without pay. Attorney negotiating plea. Aaron will testify. But today there's another complaint. Another person who thought the system wouldn't listen. Aaron opens a new file. Patricia. Badge 531. The work continues. If this story means something to you, if you've ever felt powerless against a system that protects itself, leave a comment. Share this. Subscribe, because there are hundreds of stories like Aaron's waiting to be told. Justice isn't a moment. It's a process. And it requires all of us. The system can change. It must.